Okay, so many people are smart. They have brain capacity. They can learn, or they can do things. They're not stupid. Yet, not everybody is able to become a gadol, like let's say the Khatam Sofer or people of that caliber. And Rav Shimshon Pincus brings something very interesting from the Meiri, and he goes like this. And he says, "Ashrei Adam shomea li lishkod al daltotai yom yom." From Sefer Mishlei. How do you say Mishlei in English? Huh? Proverbs. That's right. It says, the Meiri writes, what he's talking about here is Atmadat halimud ve'ha'iyun, about Atmadah. What's Atmadah in English?
Consistency.
Consistency or?
Diligence.
Endurance to persevere. Atmadah, that means to continue, not to let go. On learning, ve'ha'iyun, on learning in depth as well. Ve'atzorach ba'atladat halimud, and the need to learn is very important. Why? Because when you come to do a melacha, you come to do work. Let's say this work takes 10 hours to be done. So on the first day, or 10 hours or 10 days. So on the first day, let's say it takes 10 days. On the first day, you did a tenth of the job. And the second day, you did 2/10, and so on and so forth until you finish the whole entire job, right? And that's how things work. That's how it works in the world out there and so on. However, that's not the case when it comes to Limud Torah. When it comes to Limud Torah, it's absolutely not like that. And because it says, because Chazal tells us that when you come in to learn Torah, you have to approach it different. So let's go back to 1 second to the job. If I have a job that takes 10 days to do so, if I took a day off, I can always make it up from where I took it, right? Because the job may say, Limud Torah is something that is completely different. Limud Torah is something that is unique in terms of, because it's very difficult to find a parallel to it in a Western world. That unconditional, continuous dedication to one task over a long period of time. Very difficult. And it goes like this. It says, in Masechet Avot, it says in the Braita over there, it says, Yechol Adam lilmod Torah be'eser shanim. In Avot of Rabbeinu Natan. לא תחשוב שהחלק העשירי מן הילמד בשנה הראשונה. Don't think, if let's say for example you learn Torah for 10 years, don't think that in the first year you're going to learn a tenth of that, equal parts of that, because it's not the case, right? וכל עוד שיתעסק בה תקל הבנתו וימצא לפניו נתיב חוכמה, דרך סלולה ויפה, right? Every time you're going to learn more, you're going to find better understanding until you get it all cleared up. In other words, you might learn, and then in the last year of the 10, all of a sudden you are in a tremendous trajectory. You just understand everything. You are coming out, you understand everything that you need to learn within, let's say, 1 year. So Talmud Torah is different. And he says, why is it like? We all know that 1 plus 1 is 3. 1 and 1 and 1 is 3. Got to be good looking, right? It's so hard. Anybody knows this song? Who sings that? The Beatles, Come Together. Come on, man. So 1 plus 1 is 1. So let's say, the story they say about the if I'm not mistaken, the Ibn Ezra. He was playing chess with this king. How many? And they were playing whatever. So how many? They were debating how many grains of wheat you can fit on a chest thing. Checkboard, yeah. You would say, how many are there? 8 and 8 is 64. So he said, okay, fine. That's what you. So the king told him, I said, I'm a good chess player. I heard you're a good chess player. what do you want if you win? So the Ibn Ezra said to him, very simple. All I want is the following. On the first square, you're going to put 1 grain. On the second square, you're going to put 2. And like this, you're going to double on each and every one the amount that it was before. Basically, like compound interest. So at the beginning, the king says, okay, sure, not a problem. All of a sudden, he realized, he goes to his advisor, his advisor says to him, listen, we might lose all the grain we have in the granaries here because of that. And Talmud Torah is the following. Why is that? If a person learns Torah for half an hour, so he learned Torah for half an hour. For the next half hour, he learned Torah for 1 hour. For the next half hour, he already has the Torah of 2 hours. For the next half hour, he has already the Torah of 6 hours. For the next portion, he learns Torah for 12 hours. Even though it's only 4 or 4.5 hours. But the increments in which it multiplies is like that. It's not just linear. It goes in squares. Up, 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 and up. So if a person sat down, let's say for example, if we count the hours of which we learn Torah in our, let's say 70 years of coherence, the hours that you learn, how many hours did you learn, you think, overall in 70 years? 10 years of Torah you have in here. Total? Count the minutes that you actually learn. Make the cheshbon. Make the cheshbon. If you're going to tell me that you'll be kovea itim la Torah, which to most people will tell you, that's tremendous. If I will be able to learn 2 hours a day straight, that will be tremendous, right? I'll be very happy. So I'm going to ask you this. Who's quick with a calculator here? Who's quick with a calculator? Sam, the accountant? Okay. Okay, so let's say most of you, let's say you're 20 now, right? Let's say how long can we learn until we're 70? So from 20 to 70, it's 50, right? 50. How many days in 50 years?
18,250.
Times 2.
Times 2. 36,500.
Divided by 24.
24 is 1,520.
Divided by 365.
4.1.
So in 70 years, all you learn is 4 years. It's ridiculous. Think about it. You're doing me a favor by telling me you're going to learn now. Rabbi, I'm going to give you 2 years, 2 hours a day. You're doing me a favor, you're doing it to yourself. Take all the hours. You're coming out to what, 4 hours? I mean 4 days, 4 years of learning. 4 years of learning out of the 70 years. So why is it so difficult for you to give me now 4 years? Do you understand what I'm saying to you? So you come to a person like the Khatam Sofer that learn every day, all day. So if you come to use the same cheshbon, because that's a continuous that goes on multiply, like you're accelerating, right? Every time you accelerate, acceleration is different than just moving, right? I'm accelerating. If I'm accelerating on a steady rate all the time, for example, every mile I drive faster 10% than the mile before. After 100 miles, I'm going at the speed of light or something like that. I'm accelerating because it's one continuous, non-stop act. So if you have a person that quote-unquote learn for 50 years, every day, all day, if you take that cheshbon, since it's a continuous act, basically he learned for like 1,000,000 years. But if you learn for 1,000,000 years, yeah, you'll be a Khatam Sofer, without a doubt. Without a doubt. But if you learn a portion, you're going to be talking about abortion, but you're not going to be talking about Torah. If you want to know why you would never be a Talmid Chacham, it's not because of your ability. It's because of your attitude. Don't tell me you're not capable. Everybody's capable. Not everybody's capable to learn on the same level, but I guarantee to you, and I honestly believe in that, everybody is capable to becoming a much bigger Talmid Chacham than he can ever imagine he could be. The problem is, I'm not quite sure you want to be. You don't understand what I'm saying? I'm going to tell you this. Sam, you learn Taekwondo? How often do you go? Not so often. Okay. Not so often. How many hours a day you practice?
When I go there, like an hour to 2 hours.
An hour a day. If you go there, when you go there, an hour a day. What will happen, you know what? Why don't you ask your sensei that question? Ask him, you going to go there today?
Possibly.
Okay, good. Go there today. Ask your sensei a question. Tell him that I said, because the question I presented to you and you're going to ask him, if you're going to dedicate 8 hours a day to practice Taekwondo for 1 year, how fast would you be able to get black belt? Or if you're going to dedicate 8 hours a day of Taekwondo, how fast from, what belt are you now? Red?
Right.
Okay. How many belts away are you from black belt?
3 in between.
3 in between, so that's about at least 7 years from now. If you continue like that, if at all. Because then it becomes more difficult. Ask him, if I'm going to dedicate 8 hours a day to Taekwondo, how fast will I get a black belt? How better would I be than anybody else? How better would I be than anybody else? If you dedicate 8 hours a day to do anything, you'll become so much better. However, Torah, the pace of becoming better is much greater because there's a special secret in the Torah, and that's called the siyata d'shemaya that a person get. If you're going to learn, dedicate 8 hours a day from, let's say you're not so good in math. You're not so good at math, but you're going to dedicate 8 hours a day to learn math. By the end of the year, I think you can give a course. You speak Spanish? How about you speak Chinese? Ni hao mao. You don't speak Chinese? No? Okay. If you're going to dedicate for 1 year, 8 hours a day to speak Chinese, after a year you're going to say, I know Kung Fu. You're going to speak Chinese, guaranteed. The reason why you don't speak Chinese is you don't put the hours. If you learn Torah for 8 hours a day, for 1 year, for 2 years, for 4 years, there's a big difference. If you're going to put 1 hour or 8 hours a day for 1 year, all day long, just Torah, for your friend that puts 2 hours a day, you're going to be about 30 years ahead of him. There's the capacity of what you can learn. If you're going to learn 4 years, you're in a different league. It's a different league. It will be like, let's say you have a baseball team in high school. The levels will be the difference between a softball team to a major league, pitcher or something like that. And it's anything in life. Anything in life. How many college football players out there? How many NFL football players are there? How many superstars are in the Super Bowl in the NFL? How many people are quarterbacks in high school, in elementary schools, in college? How many quarterbacks are in the NFL? How many quarterbacks are really top 10? Take the ratio. These are the people who ate and drank and slept football. Torah is much greater leverage in terms of the yield that you're going to get to effort is much greater than anything else in this universe. Much greater than anything you get in the universe. Try it. What you got to lose? If in 4 years of dedicating 8 hours a day, the only thing you're going to do is learn Torah. That's your job. You're going to work. You come in the morning on time, you're going to work. In 4 years, if you dedicated 8 years, what you got to lose? You didn't excel above and beyond. Maybe we can work out a deal for you that you don't have to learn Torah from this point on. And that brings me to something very interesting. We know that in Kabbalah, the Mekubalim said that a person should not learn Torah, or the Halakha says a person should not learn Kabbalah until he fills his stomach with Shas and Poskim, like you already, Alen Gemara and so on and so forth. However, Rabbeinu Chaim Vital says, in his introduction to his to the Ari's writing, Ari actually did not write his books. There was the son of Maharchu that wrote from the notes that his father left. He wrote the following: if a person learns 3 years Gemara and doesn't see any siman baracha, any sign of achievement in Gemara, leave everything and learn Kabbalah all day long. It's very funny. So people say, oh, of course I'll do that. Not a problem. I'll learn 3 years. I said, it's impossible. It's impossible for a person to learn Torah, impossible for a person to learn Torah and not to see any sign of bracha in it. Any chidush, any better understanding. It's impossible. That's the beauty of Torah. Dedicate this time. Whatever little time you have. I mean, you need to invest in your neshama. Do it for your soul. Do it for yourself. Dedicate the next few years. The next year. Well, what is that to lose? The next year. Dedicate to learn one time. Only Torah. Mommy will yell. Mommy will yell. Don't worry. Mommy gets angry. Give her cold water. She'll relax. It's okay. Tell her I'm going to an ashram. If you're going to tell mommy I'm going to an ashram, namaste, when I eat tofu and rice all day long, say, oh, my son is such a tzaddik. Tell her, this is my ashram. This is my refuge. Going for 1 year. Checking myself in. 1 year. One year. No interruptions. After that, I'll do what I want. Let's see what it is. When you're going to come home, you're going to be a big rabbi, I don't think there's going to be a problem there. When you're going to come home and you're going to act like a Ben Torah and you treat everybody with respect, and so on and so forth, as required, I don't think anybody will complain from that point on. Believe me, I guarantee it to you. So try it, let's try it, not to be afraid. Understand what I'm telling you. The leaps are above and beyond anything else you'll do. Learn to dedicate your efforts. Be like a laser beam. You cut through everything. That will give you success. If you reach a certain point in your life, and you do think you put effort, and you didn't achieve anything, then you can believe that because you did not put an effort. On that, Chazal says, Yagata u'matzata ta'amin. You work hard, you found, you believe. That's the way it is. Yagata velo matzata, al ta'amin. If you work hard, you didn't find, don't believe it. You didn't work so hard. Or you don't know what you got. Have a great day.